Hello and welcome to, well, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is a countdown of the top 10 worst cities in the United States for 2024. And it's not exactly a list you want to be on, let alone top. We're talking the kind of places where even raccoons are like, you know what? I'm good. Now before you at me from your mom's basement in Gary, Indiana, screaming about how this is all subjective, let's be clear, these rankings are based on cold, hard data. We're talking crime rates that would make a statistician blush, economic struggles that would make even a Wall Street banker sweat. Whatever your flavor, buckle up, because we're about to dive headfirst into the underbelly of the American dream. Kicking off our list at a solid number 10 is St. Louis, Missouri. You know, the gateway to the West, home of the Gateway Arch. Well, apparently that gateway leads straight to a whole lot of trouble because this city is struggling. First up, we've got crime. And not just your run-of-the-mill someone stole my garden gnome kind of crime. We're talking violent crime rates that are more than double the national average. In fact, St. Louis boasts the highest murder rate in the country. You know your city has a PR problem when even the pigeons are packing heat. St. Louis has been grappling with a shrinking population and a struggling job market for years. It's like the city's own personal game of Jenga and someone keeps pulling the wrong blocks. Coming in at number 9, it's the Motor City itself, Detroit, Michigan. Now Detroit has a special place in American history. This is the city that put the world on wheels, but these days it seems like those wheels have fallen off, rolled into a ditch, and caught fire. Detroit has consistently ranked among the most dangerous cities in the U.S., with violent crime rates significantly higher than the national average. Speaking of abandoned buildings, Detroit has become infamous for its urban decay. We're talking sprawling neighborhoods with more empty houses than residents. While there have been efforts to revitalize Detroit, it still faces significant economic challenges, from high poverty rates to a shrinking population. Holding strong at number 8 is Baltimore, Maryland. Now they call it Charm City, but honestly, judging by the statistics, that charm is working about as well as a reverse mortgage on a sinking houseboat. Let's be blunt. Baltimore has a serious crime problem. We're talking violent crime rates that make Gotham City look like a gated community. Baltimore has been plagued by corruption scandals, police misconduct allegations, and a whole host of other issues. Baltimore has one of the highest poverty rates of any major city in the U.S. Chapter 4. Sliding into our number 7 spot is Memphis, Tennessee. Now Memphis is known for its music, its barbecue, and sadly, its crime. It's like the city's trying to win a tragic trifecta, and frankly, it's succeeding with flying colors. Memphis has a violent crime rate that's more than double the national average. But hey, at least the economy is booming, right? Oh honey, no. Memphis has struggled with poverty and economic inequality for years. Look, I'm sure there are some great things about Memphis, but statistically speaking, you're more likely to find yourself the victim of a crime there than you are to stumble across a hidden Elvis recording session. Chapter 5. Coming in hot at number 6, and by hot, I mean both literally and figuratively, it's New Orleans, Louisiana. This city is known for its vibrant culture, rich history, and of course its legendary parties. But beneath the surface, there's a storm brewing. Now I know, New Orleans is supposed to be a magical place full of music, food, and a general laissez-faire attitude towards life. The French Quarter, the jazz, the beignets, it all sounds like a dream. But let's be real folks, that magic act is wearing a little thin these days. The city is struggling with a myriad of issues that are hard to ignore. New Orleans has one of the highest murder rates in the country. Safety is a major concern for both residents and visitors alike. But hey, at least the infrastructure is top-notch, right? Wrong. The roads are riddled with potholes and the streetlights are often broken. Oh, you sweet naive cherub. The reality is far from the picturesque scenes you see in travel brochures. New Orleans is sinking faster than a politician's approval rating during a scandal. The city is literally below sea level, making it highly susceptible to flooding. And with hurricanes becoming about as regular as Mardi Gras, let's just say the city's future is looking a little soggy. Each storm leaves behind a trail of destruction that takes years to recover from. New Orleans has some of the worst economic disparities in the country. The gap between the rich and the poor is staggering, and it's a problem that seems to be getting worse. Chapter 6. Buckle up, folks, because at number 5, we're heading to Stockton, California. This city, nestled in the heart of the Central Valley, has a story that's as rich and complex as the soil that grows its famous almonds. Now you might be thinking, Stockton, where the hell is Stockton? And honestly, that's a fair question. Stockton is often overshadowed by its more glamorous neighbors like San Francisco and Los Angeles. But for those who do know Stockton, it's often synonymous with one thing: bankruptcy. This city has had its fair share of financial woes. Yes, back in 2012, Stockton became the largest city in the US to declare bankruptcy. It was a headline that shocked the nation and put Stockton on the map for all the wrong reasons. It was like the city looked at its finances, threw its hands up and said, you know what? We're done. The financial mismanagement and economic downturns were just too much to handle. But hey, at least the crime rate is low, right? Oh honey, no. Stockton has been grappling with high crime rates for years, and it's a problem that doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. Stockton has struggled with high crime rates for years, particularly violent crime. The city has tried various measures to combat this, but the challenges remain. And speaking of almonds, let's talk about the economy. Agriculture is a big deal here, and almonds are one of the top crops. Sure, Stockton is surrounded by almond orchards, but those almonds haven't exactly translated into economic prosperity for everyone. The wealth generated from agriculture often doesn't trickle down to the average resident. The city still grapples with high poverty and unemployment rates. Despite the fertile land and agricultural success, many residents find themselves struggling to make ends meet. Stockton is a city of contrasts, where the beauty of almond orchards stands in stark contrast to the economic hardships faced by its people. Chapter 7, Cleveland, Ohio, the rock and roll capital of economic despair. Coming in at a respectable number 4, it's Cleveland, Ohio. Now, Cleveland is known for a few things. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Drew Carey, and well, that infamous river that caught fire. Look, I'm not saying Cleveland is all bad. It's got a certain gritty charm, like a pair of well-worn work boots. But those boots are standing in a puddle of economic stagnation, high poverty rates, and a crime rate that would make even Batman think twice about patrolling the streets. Hold on to your hats, folks, because at number 3, we're heading to Little Rock, Arkansas. Now you might think a city called Little Rock would be, well, little. And you'd be right. But what it lacks in size, it more than makes up for in crime. Little Rock has a surprisingly high crime rate for its size. The truth is, Little Rock struggles with poverty, unemployment, and a lack of opportunity. Coming in hot at number 2 is Birmingham, Alabama. Now, Birmingham has a rich history, but unfortunately, most of that history involves things that happened before the 1970s. These days, Birmingham is struggling to keep up with the times, and by keep up, I mean not actively sink into the earth like a poorly built sandcastle. Birmingham's economy is about as stable as a unicycle on a tightrope. The city has struggled with high unemployment, poverty, and a lack of opportunity. And don't even get me started on the crime. Birmingham has one of the highest violent crime rates in the country. Look, I'm sure there are some lovely people in Birmingham, just trying to make ends meet. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, or perhaps the moment you've been dreading. The number 1 spot on our list of the worst cities in the US for 2024 goes to Shreveport, Louisiana. Yes, Shreveport. You've officially achieved the dubious honor of being crowned the worst of the worst. Congratulations. I mean, it's not exactly a prize you want to put on your city's welcome sign, but hey, a win's a win, right? So, what exactly landed Shreveport in this unenviable position? Well, let's just say it's a perfect storm of economic despair, rampant crime, and a general sense that the city is about to spontaneously combust. The economy in Shreveport is about as lively as a cemetery at midnight. Businesses are closing left and right, and the once bustling streets now resemble ghost towns. Jobs are scarcer than honest politicians, with unemployment rates soaring to unprecedented levels. The job market is practically non-existent, leaving many residents in a perpetual state of financial limbo, and the poverty rate is higher than a giraffe's blood pressure. Families are struggling to make ends meet, and the number of homeless individuals is rising alarmingly. And the crime? Oh, the crime. It's like a never-ending horror show. Shreveport's crime rate is like a cockroach infestation. It's persistent, it's pervasive, and it's spreading faster than anyone can control. From petty thefts to violent crimes, the city is grappling with a wave of lawlessness, and it's probably immune to most conventional forms of pest control. The local law enforcement is overwhelmed, and the community is left feeling vulnerable and unsafe. Well, there you have it, folks, the top 10 worst cities in the US for 2024. Now, before you grab your pitchforks and torches and head to the comments section, let's remember one thing. Data is not destiny. While these cities face significant challenges, many have vibrant communities and ongoing efforts to improve conditions. There's hope yet, folks. Maybe, possibly. Look, I'm not a miracle worker. Anyway, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in next time when we rank the top 10 most passive-aggressive squirrels in North America.